right, you guys, come on in, you guys. I'm not going to open that sunroof because I feel like it would probably be a glare. Maybe not. Let's see. Bad. It just gives me a little bit of light through the tinted windows, and so I had to open it just a little bit. I wanted to probably, as you guys can see, going to be the final update. Right now I'm en route, or I parked to the actual vet to get this paid for, to get it done. I do want to say, like, I pray that those of you guys that are just now tuning into this particular broadcast, I pray that you guys actually go back to view view the first two broadcasts from this morning, because they were so very profound. They were encouraging, but it was a very well needed message. It was a correct. For those of you guys that is labeled Let's Talk hashtag prophetic flow, there are two videos. The first video got cut off, and so I had to come back on. And so I do want to just ask that you guys actually go back and watch those videos. Like $30, that is literally all I need to finalize paying Bella's bill, closing that tab on, honestly closing that chapter. As I've been saying, it's a brand new season, and it's I guess it's just God's way of saying it's over, which I'm absolutely fine with. At this part of the juncture, what I am doing is just honestly walking by faith, choosing to believe that as I move, that God will meet my need. And honestly, today has been a very encouraging day. Like, for my faith, I'll just say this: like, been through seasons where, it just really feels like your faith takes a hit. It feels like, your faith doesn't work. And so it's kind of like, even in the confines of a new season, like, I think that many people don't realize is that, like, when you've gone through like such testing and trials that really push your faith, to its wit's end, that like kind of in new seasons, you're having to deal with the residue of learning to pick your faith back up and getting back to the place where, you actually are, where it was. And to a certain degree, it's like the last few seasons of my life really tried my faith. And honestly, there were points like in my journey, like months ago, even, especially dealing with Bella, where it just felt like, and I was telling God this the other day, where I was kind of mourning Bella a little bit. That's still a problem. What happened May 16, June, 2.5 months ago, it's still something that's very still to me, still very surreal. It is very much so surreal to me. And so there are still moments where I kind of get a little bit down about it, get a little bit sad about it. But one thing that I told God, and having just hey, Pastor Ron, one thing that I told God in having a very vulnerable moment is that I feel like my faith failed her. And I don't know if y'all have ever like been through something, been in a season where you just literally feel like, God, I used all the faith I had and nothing happened, or it went, or the situation just went in the opposite direction. And so I think honestly, like, when it revolves around like God breathing on your faith again, getting back to a place where you feel like you can walk by the same faith that you once had. Because I'm gonna be real, y'all. When I first started like my journey with God, like, I really didn't have faith. I didn't know what it was, and I struggled with God just teaching me how to have faith, how to live by faith, how to really live a life where I'm dependent solely on Him. But then it got to a point where I began to understand and see that like faith really does move mountains. And honestly, in the last season of my life, which honestly ended with Bella passing away, I really felt like during that season, like my faith just wasn't there. Like, it just, even though I was trying, I don't know if y'all have ever been there where you're just going through something that's so extreme and it's just literally back to back to back to back to back. Where you just start feeling like, God, it feel like my faith is not working, because it's like you apply your faith to different situations, different mountains, and it's like the mountains that your faith once moved, it's like, God, what is wrong with my faith? And hey, Visha, and a lot of times it's not that something is wrong with your faith. It's just literally about how God needs certain things to play out in our life. And that's the reality of the situation, is that there are some things that, you know, we have to go through. It's not about your faith. It's simply about the will of God. And so that has been something that I've kind of have been trying to come to terms with as far as that season of my life, that it really wasn't about my faith, even though I told God. I'm still heartbroken about that. Like, it feels like my faith failed my dog, and that's not the case. It was just simply God's will for that to happen, for that to take place. And so I've really been in a season of, today has just felt different. This week, the past 2 weeks have been, I've been having to be so raw with God about like my deepest, darkest feelings about some things that I've had to go through. And it's like the more open I've been with God, the more I've kind of felt God like release, if that makes sense. The more vulnerable I've been, like the more I've been willing to admit like the hurt that I feel behind certain things, not just Bella, you know, how I feel even about my belief. And so honestly, today has honestly been the first day in the while that I have just kind of felt to believe big again, to have that same big bold faith that I've always had. And it's really, it makes me emotional just thinking about it, because it's like some seasons take so much out of you, strength wise and faith wise, that by the time it ends, it feels like you have nothing left to give. And so it's very encouraging, very encouraging when you see God breathe on something that you feel like, God, I feel like I had nothing left to give. Like where I am, honestly, in this season of my life, even with seeing God do, and I feel like I'm finna cry for some reason. Oh, let me take a deep breath. It's not sad tears or anything like that. I've been crying a lot lately. Not sad tears. Some of them have been sad tears. I ain't even gonna lie. I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. But today has just made me very grateful, because I genuinely felt like my faith was not working. I really did. And when you go through a situation that makes you feel like your faith doesn't work, it almost makes you feel like, what's the use of like anything else? It literally makes you feel like, what is the use of trying? You know, if my faith failed me here, like, why should I even try to move this mountain? And so today is just, you know, kind of, God has just breathed a new life in me that has really made me feel like, okay, I feel like I can have faith again, God. I feel like I have the strength that, you know, if I believe that a mountain will move, that it will move. And so that is kind of like been where I've been on today, just mindset wise, which is like a complete 180 from yesterday. But I'm thankful for this season. You know, I'm really thankful for this season, because there are just take it all out of you. I'm not trying to cry, you guys, but it's just, I mean everything that I'm saying. Like, I don't think people really realize, like, the last season, it was like the biggest test. It was, honestly, in my opinion, it almost felt worse than the wilderness, because it's like in the beginning phases of learning how to trust God, it's one of things, because I understand that I'm enduring these things to learn how to trust you. But it's an entirely different type of internal battle and struggle when you've seen with your own two eyes what faith can do for you, you know, and to be in a situation, to be in a season where it just literally feels like your faith is not working. It literally feels like you are too weak to push. You are too weak to, you know, show God that you believe him, and to have to endure so many setbacks, especially when you know that you've given it your all. And so it's an entirely different type of struggle and an entirely different type of battle to endure something when you know, like, God, I know what faith can do. I know what belief can do. I know what words can do. And to apply all these things and to still feel like you short end of the stick, or to go through things that are really painful. And I think, honestly, too, with God saying, even today, with him having me pay off her bill, and for those people that want to know where we are, we're just $30 away from absolutely, Visha, we're $30 in full. I might actually head there once I'm done with this video to actually pay them in person. And I think even too, because I could call, but I would just believe that God saying chapter close. I do believe that just what you said, Visha, that there's a release happening. Like, it's been so painful. And honestly, after I left that vet that day, May 16th, I said, God, I'm never coming here again. I don't know if y'all have ever like told God, like, you never gonna do something again because it hurt so bad. Like, that was literally how I felt. I'm never ever coming here ever again. Like, I literally told God, I meant it. From the deep pits of my heart, I meant it. I'm never coming to this vet again. They were nice, they were good. It ain't what they did wrong to me. It's just, this is a painful place. And so I feel like, you know, it's even with God saying chapter close, and even with just like me just feeling like, I feel like my faith is working again. It's encouraging for me. It is very much so encouraging to me, especially because God has graced me in the area of faith. And so like when my faith really took a hit, it really like did some damage to me. It really made me feel like, what is the use of even trying? So a lot of times I would just sit in the struggles. You know, it's trauma speaking. A lot of times I would just sit in the struggle. I would choose not to. And sometimes it's like you be going through so much, and it takes so much energy getting through some of the things that we have to endure, that honestly and truthfully speaking, like, it leaves no strength for you to like toil, for you to do anything else. And for a while, that's kind of been the place that I've been in. You just get tired of fighting, tired of, you're only one person. And so today is just, honestly and truthfully speaking, I just believe it's just the start of something new. I've known that I've been in a new season, but like faith wise, it's just, I feel like a release. Like whatever it was that I was going through for the past year and a half, I just literally feel like God is just literally saying, okay. And I say all that to say, like, seasons do end. Like, tough seasons do end. Even when they feel like they are never going to end, like, tough seasons do end. I don't know who needs to hear that, but like, tough seasons do end. Like, that last season that I have ever been through, it was worse than the wilderness. And it's like, when you understand like what you went through almost took you out, like, it does give you hope of like truly like seeing like what comes next. Because after the wilderness, it started an entire for me. And so it's like, after coming out of what I've had to go through, I almost quit ministry so many times. Like, for real, it just really doesn't compare. And so that's kind of like where I am today. Just, you know, I think it's just releasing the last bit of tears. And that's not to say that I won't be sad or that I won't be emotional, because my dog really meant a lot to me. And that was one of those things that really hurt me. But at the same time, I also understand that God has given me beauty for my ashes. And so it's been like a struggle to kind of balance that, to not mourn her anymore. And to appreciate, like, yeah, man, whoo, Pastor Ron, brother, if I didn't need this phone, I could like literally, I could throw this phone. It's the results. That's exactly what it is. The results of the tough season. Because it's like when you're in the tough season, everything is strained. Every ounce of it's honestly little or no progress in tough seasons. For real. It's hardly any results in them seasons where God is teaching you. And I think honestly, in that season of my life, I had never thought about giving up on ministry until like the most recent past season. I had never mouth. I literally, in the last season, I told God, I don't want to do this anymore. I was done. I was literally over it. I was beyond drained. But I really, like, I'm starting to understand the purpose behind that last season. It produced something to me. It produced something within me. Let me say it like that. I'm not sure what all that the last season produced, but I do know that it did produce a deeper level of resiliency because of all I had to endure. It was literally dealing with a sick dog, going through the housing process, only for that at the last minute not to go the way that I expect, only to like have to move. Like it was just literal back to back to back to back things. And a lot of this stuff was happening all at the same time. Hey, Natasha, a lot of this stuff was literally happening all at the same time. And so it's like, it would be moments where like, I feel like I'm making progress and then only to be reverted backwards. Okay, God, I lose this weight. I'm getting ready to compete, and then boom, I feel like I've been set all the way back. And so it's like, and that too, a deeper level of love for God, because honestly, it was genuinely my love that got me, my love for God, that got me through that last season. I know it produced resiliency. It produced even when I felt like my faith was broken. But I really think that in that season, God was really seeing what I was really made of. Right? Because like I say, for a while, for years, like my faith had been producing results. And then it just got to a point where my faith wasn't faithing no more. It wasn't producing any type of results. It felt like it was broken. It felt like God had forsaken me. It felt like so much. And I really think that with all the testing that God was seeing, okay, how do you respond like when you go through a season that's worse than your wilderness? And so those are like a few of my takeaways from the last season. You know, somehow that pain has produced purpose and is still producing purpose. God opened my eyes to so much. He healed so much of me. And he even corrected things, you know, things within me. And so it's definitely been a balance, not mourning my dog, but being appreciative of Bo. Bo is something else. God be telling me not to call him little gremlin, man. I've gotten into the habit of not calling him that, but y'all, sometimes he do be in little gremlin mode. He is just as spunky as they come. And to think that I thought that he was going to be this little docile little puppy. Oh no, he's not. He's a mama's baby. He has so much personality. It is just, and honestly and truthfully speaking, he reminds me of Bella a lot, from how I have to fuss at him, how he just reminds me of her, how he clings to me, you know, even to the way that I used to pick Bella up to hold her like a child. He likes for me to hold him like a baby. I kid y'all not. And so it's just really been an adjustment to this new season with all the new things that God has been doing. I've been having to adjust from a place of pain to being able to receive like the blessings that this season holds. And I think that that's something that people overlook. Like when you've been in a season where you've had to fight for so long, where you've lost so much, where you've had to endure so much, it is so hard receiving either you're looking over your back like is something bad about to happen, because that has been the cycle that you've been in, good stuff, and the moment that you let your guard down, boom, something bad happens again. So sometimes, like when you go through tough seasons, it is a struggle receiving God's blessings. You know, it's a struggle letting go of the pain of the old. There is so much I could just really talk about. I really honestly could write a book about this. But that's just some of my takeaways. You know, today just feels like my faith works again. It feels like my faith is working again, and I'm grateful. And that's why I say, like, God to close that is so prophetic for how I feel today, you know, especially compared to the past season, compared to yesterday. Yesterday, I just felt like I had gone completely backwards. I'm going to just be real. I was soaking. And so I just give God praise for that. I really just give God praise for that. That's kind of where I am right now. Right now, the goal is just $30. You guys have been sowing. I'm so grateful. But the goal right now is to literally get it paid for in full. You guys just tuning in, I'm in the car. I'm about to head to the vet, which is right down the road, to actually pay Bella's final vet bill. Pay it in full. I'm not really even concerned about like what I need after that. I just know that this is something that God told me yesterday, that today was going to be the day that I needed to pay it in full and let that be it. And so can someone type the goal in? The goal is $30. That's literally all I need. If anything more is sown food, because I'm out of that. And so that cost me about $20 with taxes. They've gone up on dog food too. But my goal right now is $30. That is the first thing, the only thing that I'm concerned with this morning. And again, it's going towards my dog. That could be you sowing 10. It could be you sowing 15. It could be you sowing 20. God may tell you to sow 30. He may tell you to sow 50. But all I can do is tell you guys, share the revelations that God has given me. Be transparent about my journey. Let you guys know what the goals are. And what it is that I actually need. And so I'm being genuine. I'm being honest and open about where the money is going. This is a chapter that has to close now. And so the links are there. I do ask that for those of you guys that are sowing, if God doesn't give you a seed title to put, that you just put God is faithful, or that you put, paid in full. And that's just you linking your faith up with mine, calling it paid in full. And another, even when I felt like my faith wasn't working, God carried me. Even when I felt like it was weak, like God still carried me. Like he still took care of me. And I just thank him that he sympathizes with understanding that, we're human and we can only take so much. And he sympathizes with those weak moments that we have, even outside of a person's faith. But at the same time, he also strengthens us. He strengthens us. And I think that is what I'm most grateful for in this season. Just the strength that God has given me to keep going, no matter what happens, no matter what the setbacks are, no matter what hits I take, is to just be strong enough to just keep getting up and to keep going and to keep trying. And so that is it, you guys. That is it. I actually need to get going. Hey, Mrs. Hatcher, blessings to you. I actually need to get going though, but right now, that is my goal, $30 from what has been sown this morning. The goal is just $30. And from there, Bella's bill will be paid for in full. And so to those of you guys that are, God is making me do this, if you're able to sow seed into the goal, can you just give me a 1? And it's into the goal. I'm only asking so that I don't have to keep doing so many different broadcasts telling people like what my goal is. And I believe that we can get it done on today. Like I say, the goal is 30. That could be 3 people sowing $10 seeds. The funds right now are in CashApp. So if you guys can sow to CashApp, that would be great. Because if you sow to PayPal, I have to transfer it to the CashApp and it's going to take $1 or so off. And then I'll be back in the same position with having a need met. But if PayPal is how you have to sow, I will just transfer the money. But the goal is 30. I do ask that if you are able to sow, that you do go and sow now so that I can go ahead and get this taken care of. I want to say goal is once funds are sown. So I think like if it's sown to like PayPal, if you're sowing to PayPal, whatever it is that you're sowing, it's going to take money off when I transfer it to Cash App. But again, is there anyone else that feels led to sow seed into the goal? And again, I just ask that you label it paid in full. God may give you, he may tell you to label it for Bella. He may tell you to label it something else. All I can do is just tell you guys what the goal is. And so right now, I'll wait on those of you guys that are sowing to actually go and sow. And I do want to say too, because some of y'all came on at the tail end of this broadcast, like I know it says final update, but there was such a richness, such wisdom, you know, even in some of the things that I said before I got to the part of talking about the update, where if you feel led to just go back and listen to it, I encourage you to like just go back and listen to it. You may be able to glean something from what I talked about, but you let God lead you with what you do. And so again, I do ask that as you guys are putting one on the screen, that you guys just go and sow exactly what the goal is, exactly what it is that I need. If you sow, you can just go ahead and say seed sown if you want to. Sometimes the notifications come to my phone. Sometimes they do not. I just don't want to have broadcast back to back to back to back to back. But that is our goal right there. Today I'm grateful for life. I can just say that I am truly, just grateful for life. It seems like this week has been a long week, but a quick one. It definitely has been an emotional week for me, working through emotions, processing like how I've been feeling, and just allowing for God to show me the way forward. And I think at the end of the day, that is what we can do. And so that is it. So right now, I am just literally waiting on those of you guys to sow, so that I can let you guys know where we are with the goal. The links to sow, you can sow via the Cash App. You just simply let God lead you. But that is where we are. And even, I feel like today my faith was tested. It really was. Because it's almost like my mindset wanted to slip over into, just ask one of your friends, to borrow the money from. And I had to remind myself, like, God, you said I wouldn't have to borrow any money to pay her off, to pay this bill off. And so that's how it's going to be. And that was what encouraged me it encouraged me to see that my faith in this season, it's like God is breathing on it again. And so, that is it, you guys. That is it. That is it. Hold on one second. Oh, sorry, y'all. We're still waiting on the funds to come in. Again, if you I just ask that you guys go ahead and sow now, because I am about to actually head to the vet to pay it. And so that is it, you guys. What is 30 minus 717? Can somebody tell me? Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mama 2G. Thank you so much. Can somebody tell me what is 30 minus 717? I think it's like, we'll just say $23. We'll just say $23. And so that's where we are right now, 23, and it'll be paid for in full. Or 23, and it'll be paid for in full. Okay, so right now I'm actually going to go ahead and head to the vet because we are almost at our goal. And so can someone type that in? I'm not behind or anything. $23. That is where we are from what has been sown. It says I'm freezing. Okay, we should be good now. Thank you so much. We rounded up. Thank you so much for saying that, Natasha. That is where we are. $23. And so I'm actually probably going to go ahead and get off of here. And I'm okay with coming back on live once I actually park at the vet. I really don't like broadcasting and driving, God knows. I like to be able to actually focus on the road. And so I'll be back on once I actually park at the vet to let you guys know where we are. And so that is it, you guys. I thank you guys for giving me your time. I thank you guys that trusted God in me enough to sow seed into this ministry. And I pray that for everyone that has been sowing into this ministry, whether you did it today, whether you did it last week or the week before or a month before, I pray that God honors every single seed and multiplies every single seed that you guys have chosen to sow into this ministry. It does not get unnoticed and it's not taken for granted. And so until next time, you guys, peace.